Voters in the Robbinsdale area school district won't have a chance to weigh in on one of the district's big levies at the ballot box. The school board renewed the nearly $25 million operating levy this week. Revenue from the levy pays for district salaries, benefits, and utilities. New state legislation gave the board a one-time chance to renew the levy without asking for voter approval.
What this does for our district is provide economic certainty. Not that budget cuts aren't going to still occur in the future.
The messaging is not there for me yet, so I'm worried about what this is saying to our community.
Voters will see the district's capital project levy on their ballots this November. You may have noticed law enforcement officials out running in the northwest suburbs this Friday, but they weren't running to investigate a crime. They were raising money and awareness for an important cause.
I love that our groups get to come together and support a great cause. It's great that we get the torch from one of our partner organizations and give it to one of our partner organizations.
The law enforcement torch run for the Special Olympics made stops in many cities, including Brooklyn Center, Crystal, and New Hope. During the event, officers carry the flame of hope from city to city on its way to the games. Crystal police ran about 3 miles before handing the torch off to New Hope officers at the ice arena. The event is also a large fundraiser for the Special Olympics. Nationwide, the program has raised more than $600 million. Special Olympian Hunter Sargent was with local police officers as they passed the torch. He said the Special Olympics and adaptive sports are an important part of his life.
For me, it's just, it's helped me grow and be okay with being different, and also just being a very strong advocate.
I mean, people are like, why are you guys doing that all day? Isn't it boring? It's like, no, it's fun actually.
The hope and the encouragement and the mission that they instill in the athletes that they work with is inspiring to all of us.
The torch will make its final stop at the Special Olympics celebration in Stillwater. This year's Summer Games run through the weekend. A Golden Valley man is accused of stealing more than $1 million from a public health program. The Minnesota Attorney General's office announced charges against Charles Amato for Medicaid fraud this week. According to the criminal complaint, Amato and a co-conspirator operated a medical transportation company. They allegedly billed Medicare for rides that never took place. The Attorney General's office says the fraud brought in nearly $1.5 million. Anyone who works with animals has to get their start somewhere. There's a popular summer camp in Golden Valley that's doing its part to help children develop a love of animals and learn a few basics about raising a pet. Owning a pet can be expensive. It also requires a lot of responsibility.
We had to get food, a food bowl, water bowl, poop bags and stuff like that.
Lily Colai is one of the children who signed up for the Humane Society's week-long summer camp.
All right, do you think we got everything?
It's a popular camp in Golden Valley geared toward kids who love animals.
They're learning lessons, they're meeting animals, they're making friends.
Rachel DeShiel helps run the program, and the goal is that campers not only have fun, but learn something in the process.
We certainly don't expect them to remember everything we teach them, but if they can walk away knowing the signs of a comfortable animal or knowing that they really have a passion for veterinary science, then that's awesome.
Water, we need that too.
One of the activities involves teaching kids about the adoption process.
Did we get that too?
And it doesn't take long for them to learn that it involves a lot more than simply buying a pet and taking it home.
Yeah.
The costs can add up.
So in total, our dog is going to cost $896.88. And that's including all the materials that we need to get for our dog today.
It's a lesson that hit home for camp participants.
Getting a dog is very expensive, and you need to have love and care for it, and make sure you also have the money for it. Really hard to take care of, and if they get hurt, then it's like really serious.
We also have Can-Do canines here.
The kids also take part in other enrichment activities throughout the week, such as learning about the role service animals play, courtesy of Can-Do canines. Ultimately, this camp can be a starting point for children who may want to pursue a career in veterinary medicine or animal welfare.
Me and my friend said that we might want to work like somewhere like this, like at a shelter or like a vet or something like that. So I think this camp will help a lot with that.
The Animal Humane Society Summer Camp in Golden Valley is full, but there is a wait list. We have more information on our website at ccxmedia.org. In this edition of Weekend Showcase, reporter Emily Haugen takes us underwater for Stage's Finding Nemo Jr.
Just below the coral sea. It's a phrase of persistence. Just keep swimming. What? Oh, wow. A theme that's familiar, thanks to Disney's Finding Nemo. Come on, Dad, wake up! Now, translated to the stage in Hopkins.
It feels like you're in the ocean watching these events play out.
Cece Evans plays the seahorse Sheldon.
I'm H2O intolerant. Achoo!
She says the audience should prepare to be immersed into plenty of surprises, like the moving set pieces and the stage itself.
When you look up, you see like the reflection of like the light on the water. So that's what we tried to do, because it's like you're underwater during the whole show.
In the big blue world. As Nemo is lost on his deep sea adventure, the actors are immersed too.
We all learned how to use our arms like we're swimming, as fish do.
Layla Traufler plays Nemo. She's got the hair to prove it.
I sat in the chair for 12 hours getting it done.
She says even though many of us have seen the story, this experience is special.
It's really awesome because this is a movie that I've watched as a kid, and so now being able to be a part of this as a musical is really awesome.
And for the audience, in Layla's words, you'll be on the edge of your seat.
In one word, exciting.
In Hopkins, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
Shows start at the Hopkins Center for the Arts on Friday, June 21st, and the show runs through August 4th. There are sensory-friendly ASL and audio-described shows on the calendar. For more details, check out ccxmedia.org.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. Former Maple Grove basketball standout Brad Davison saw success at the high school, collegiate, and professional level now, with 2 seasons under his belt now playing in Europe. Davison returned back home to Maple Grove this week, spent a lot of time with family, and also hosted a basketball camp at Maple Grove Middle School. Chaz Moots has that story.
Play it, defense ball!
Home and the hardwood
Around the cone!
is where the heart is.
That's for game, okay, restart, 0-0.
For former Maple Grove and University of Wisconsin basketball standout, Brad Davison.
I love it.
Brad and his wife, Tyra, who was an All-American guard at the University of Indiana, are back in Maple Grove giving back with basketball.
Nice. My wife and I really enjoy youth basketball. And I think most of it goes to credit to we had really great experiences being coached by our parents and other coaches and playing with our friends. Our hearts just have a soft spot for youth sports and youth basketball specifically.
Through their basketball and life experiences, the Davisons were able to come up with 5 main pillars with which they named their camp after.
Gratitude, it's about being grateful. The game of basketball is a gift. Don't make it any more complicated than that. Good, Eli! Relationships. Game's not about points, it's about people. The greatest value is always on people. Good, go buddy, go! Identity. Basketball is what you do, but it's not who you are. And for us, as people of faith, we believe that we are defined by what Scripture says about us and by what God says about us, not about what the world may define us about. Same teams as Detroit. T, toughness. The game's meant to be played tough, to compete, to play with passion, to have the freedom to go out there and play. And all those 4 principles are grounded in truth. And we believe the truth is in what the Bible says. It says Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Go, Zach! Hey, cheer on Zach, cheer on Zach, cheer on Zach!
After years of being a gritty player, Davison is now enjoying teaching his own grit to young and ambitious basketball players.
Hey, it's a close game, it's a close game! My answer, if I could go back and talk to myself when I was this young, is to relax, to have fun, and to compete. The most joy you get from these camps, I think, A, is when you have a moment with the kids. You know, when they're struggling and then they make the shot, or where they don't know the footwork and then they figure it out. When they're playing a camp game and somebody makes a game-winning shot and you just see the smile go on your face. I think the most joy you get is when you see the joy in the camper's face.
In Maple Grove, Chaz Moots,
1, 2, 3, great! There you go, get your balls, get your basketballs!
CCX Sports.
Time for this week's CCX Sports Fishing Tip. Hall of Fame angler Terry Tuma talks about using the proper rod when trying to catch summer crappies.
Selecting a good rod for crappie fishing is really extremely important. Sure, we hear so many comments about this 5.5 foot whippy rod with a real tiny reel on it. Yeah, that may be okay for vertical jigging over the side of the boat in the summertime, but for casting, even for just vertical jigging, maybe you're casting and trolling somewhat to sort of lift drop method, is use a rod that's, again, it's going to be a little heavier action. It's going to be a rod that's going to have a very sensitive tip. I use 7-foot rods and of a light action. And the reason being that we want this sensitive tip, but we all know many times those crappies bite really light throughout the open water period. So that's going to help us detect that bite. And then you want a rod that has a lot of sensitivity so you can feel that soft bite. And then with the reel, I do not use a small spinning reel. I use the light action walleye reel. The reason being it's got a larger spool, so you're going to have less coiling, less friction, so you're going to cast further. So there's some of the benefit of using a good quality crappie rod, not that real cheap rod that we so often get accustomed to.
Thanks, Terry. As the high school baseball season finally wraps up, we'll have more on that and the state tournament Monday on CCX. That's all for sports. More news after this.
Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.